Hello, everyone. Welcome to In the Paint with Cameron and Jordan. I'm Cameron Sadeghi here with Jordan Hunter. We've got a lot to talk about. Players of the week. We're going to talk about that. Also, is there a feud in Cleveland? Team Mutiny, Cavaliers. We'll talk about that. Their player-only meeting. Omer Ashik. He wants out in Houston. Nene, tired of the Wizards. We've got J.R. Smith controversy in New York.
As always.
Kobe coming to practice. Pelicans dominating Sixers. And the Knicks are just all over the place with Big Barg and Big Mello. We'll talk about that as well. But first, the players of the week. Jordan, you go first. I have a shocking one for you, but I haven't told you this. I want to hear what yours is.
My player of the week goes to Blake Griffin, coming up in the clutch in big games. 22 points, 12 rebounds, 7 assists against the Thunder. And then he's just, I think, when Chris Paul starts to, start missing shots and not able to play with the offense, Blake Griffin has to step up, and I think he did that very well this week. So my player of the week goes to Blake Griffin because of how well he played this week, and I think he can keep it up all season long.
I got one that's going to shock you. He's on Minnesota. He's a wingman. Corey Brewer. Yes. Corey Brewer is starting to become one of my favorite players in the league. Yes. I've never seen a guy play with this much energy. Okay, against both LA teams on the LA road trip. Are you kidding me? He's got his hand in the passing lane, going the other end, getting layup after layup, leaking out. He's always trying to make his teammates better on the fast break. This guy plays with so much energy every night. I know other guys play hard. I get it. But he just has a flat-out bounce in his step. I don't know why Denver let him go. Corey Brewer is the difference in Minnesota, and Corey Brewer is one of the big reasons why they've been scoring a ton lately, and why he's putting Minnesota in a great position to succeed. Rubio's great, all love Pekovic. I get that, Kevin Martin, but he is that key ingredient defensively, and he is great on the fast break. He just flies up and down the wing. This guy is incredible. He is my player of the week. Hardworking guys with a bounce in their step who play with a great passion for the game. They're always going to be my player of the week. I'm not going to always pick the superstar.
Gosh.
Come on, it's pretty good. Come on, you don't like Corey?
I wouldn't say player of the week because he's good. I don't know. He just...
He had a great week this week.
He had an average week. Come on.
No, against the Lakers and the Clippers, Okay, alright.
So, speaking of surprising players, as Cameron just stated, Corey Brewer, the Portland Trailblazers are atop of the Northwest Division at 7-2. And they're playing right now against the Toronto Raptors. That game is at halftime, 57-54. Cameron, the Portland Jailblazers, they used to be called. How are they at the top of the division over Oklahoma City?
I don't understand it. I think LaMarcus Aldridge definitely deserves to get some All-Star votes at least.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he's such a great talent. He's been able to close games out for Portland. They're finally going through him. And I think Mo Williams, I know I've criticized Mo Williams a lot, but he's giving that spark for Portland. So I think Mo Williams has done a really solid job in Portland, but the big guy, LaMarcus Aldridge, is really doing a good job closing the deal in big games.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. LaMarcus Aldridge is definitely all-star. In my opinion, one of the top 5 best power forward center combos in the league. So, Cameron, we know Portland's playing out of their minds right now. Let's go to Cleveland. Cleveland, a team we thought would make the playoffs at a 7 or 8 seed. They're just playing sluggish. They did beat the Wizards to snap their 3-game losing streak. But other than that, they're playing they're right now 4-7. I thought they'd at least be at 500, but what is going on with this Cleveland team? We know Andrew Bynum wasn't going to be healthy. Kyrie Irving and Mike Brown have had arguments over the past week. What is wrong with this Cleveland team? Will they be able to get back on the right track and hopefully make the playoffs, or at least get a winning record? What do you think, Cameron?
Feud alert, feud alert. Look, I can't tell. I don't know why they'd be so angry. Maybe it's just because they're impatient as a young team. I want to ask you this. Are Dion Waiters and Kyrie Irving, they put up a lot of shots. Are they gunners? Are they selfish? Or do you think their play style is okay?
Well, Kyrie Irving, I don't think he's selfish at all. I think he's a great point guard, but, I mean, Dion Waiters...
You think he's a gunner?
No, but in the starting lineup, he's kind of that second, third option. But I think he is a gunner. I think every team needs a gunner. Not like a bad gunner. No, I'm not talking like a Corey Brewer corner three gunner as he did every game, 5 times a game in Denver. But I think I don't know, Dion Waiters. I don't know if he has a place in the offense, because I think if or when Andrew Bynum gets back, he can come in the starting lineup. If he gets back and healthy, he will be that second option. And I don't know if Dion Waiters is going to have a place, so I don't know if you try to deal him somewhere else. I don't know what you do with him, but something's got to happen soon, because the Cavs are sinking quickly.
Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna. Yeah, what is it about Mike Brown teams, and they never have solid chemistry. Even when they went to the finals with LeBron and then Verjao and Anthony Parker and that team, like, they never even had solid chemistry. They would even have problems a lot during the season. I don't know if Mike Brown... I don't know. I don't want to blame one person, but I just feel like maybe they're just too young and they have too much pressure on them. I don't know. I think maybe we'll see after the first 25 games or at the All-Star break. Maybe they'll just get this all back together.
So, do you think this is just a phase, or do you think they're going to finish at the bottom of the Eastern Conference and at the bottom of their division?
I think it will be really surprising if at the end of the year they finish at the bottom of the division. If they finish at the bottom of the division, I think you're going to have to make incredibly big moves.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think they're going to have to make a big move. I think Kyrie's safe, Tristan Thompson's safe. I don't know about Bynum. He may retire. No one knows what's going on with him.
I would just trade him off to somewhere for first-round picks.
You think? You think he's worth that? You think he's worth the Wiggins or Jabari Parker?
Would you trade him to LA? I mean, that's the only place he really wants to play if you think about it.
Oh my gosh, he's not Lamar Odom. He doesn't want to just play in LA. Lamar Odom will sit and pout if he does not play in LA. That's been proven. But I don't know where he fits. I think he fits. I thought he would fit in Philadelphia if he played at all, because Drew Holiday could give him the ball, but I don't know what's going on. He's got some demons he's got to fight himself right now. Speaking of demons, let's go to the Washington Wizards. They're standing at 2-7, bottom of the Southeast Division. Nene said something similar to what Gerald Wallace said a couple weeks ago, saying his teammates are padding their stats. They're doing it for the stats. He said after their Wednesday loss to San Antonio wasn't as talented as them, but the Wizards were focusing too much on the stats. Do you think that was right for Nene to say, or do you think it was just saying that because they lost or to motivate the guys?
I don't think you motivate... I think Nene's been in this league long enough to know that you don't motivate guys by saying that. I've never heard Nene ever say such a thing, even in Denver. I think that's a big problem. I really do, because I don't think, especially a nice person like Nene is one of the nicest people in this league, and he's really generous. Even though you call him a broken down Nene, I still like Nene. I feel like this is a big issue, and I don't think he was making an excuse. Do they have a lot of talent? Yes, but if that's really the case, they're not making the playoffs.
You don't think? Remember, about 4 shows ago, we said Washington could squeak in there at that number 8. You don't think that anymore?
I mean, maybe it's a little too early, but if he says this again one more time for sure, because you can't, like, as a competitor, admit that your guys are just being selfish, and you can't motivate
Yeah,
people that way.
yeah. People always say, "Oh, it's too early. You can't tell," but it's actually you can by the way teams are playing. Because if teams are consistent, they can play that way the whole year. Like the Knicks. The Knicks are a team. They're 3-6 right now, tied with the Brooklyn Nets. We'll get to Brooklyn later. The Knicks. Melo said it was like his team wasn't even trying. Him and Bargiani are the only guys who actually seem like they try. Melo, it's kind of like, to me, Carmelo situation right now is kind of like what LeBron's situation was in Cleveland, except
Yeah.
LeBron and the Cavs were winning, and how he was the only guy. But I don't know if to me, if the Knicks play this way the whole season, Melo's out of there in the summer. I see him gone.
You don't think that what happens if they clean the entire house and because they said in 2016 that, or no, 2015.
2015, they're going for love.
Yeah, that in 15 that Melo's gonna basically choose the team and be the GM if he stays. I mean, that's what I've heard articles repeatedly say that. So I think it's just surprising that a Mike Woodson coach team would play like this.
Yeah.
I mean,
They played well last year, though.
I know, and
I don't know. I think it's Tyson Chandler. Whenever teams lose Tyson Chandler, they just drop. When the Mavericks lost him, they dropped for that season. That's what looks like it's happening right now. They're getting exposed.
I think Tyson Chandler brings a lot of discipline to your team, and he keeps guys in check and accountable. And I think that's what he did last year for guys like J.R. Smith and Chris Irene Threes Copeland. But I mean, I feel like I feel like Carmelo should go somewhere else. I think you know what would be a good place? Dallas. Maybe they would throw a lot of money at him.
I mean, yeah, but I just gotta say something about what Melo said. How he said he wants to test free agency. He initially said that. I think saying he wants to retire as a Knick was just a statement to reassure the Knicks fans.
Yeah,
to reassure the organization. I really think he meant it when he said, "I want to test free agency." Because I mean, what do you say that the Knicks fans are? Oh my gosh, he's gonna leave. But by saying I want to retire here, I want to stay here for the rest of my life. I think he just wanted to say that so guys, all the fans and GM.
I don't want him to be the villain. I
don't want him to turn into. He's not going to turn into LeBron. Because LeBron just the way he portrayed it, the way he did it.
No. What I mean, I don't want him to be the villain. That means I don't want any NBA players to have to go through what LeBron and Dwight Howard went through. I felt like what LeBron and Dwight went through was completely unnecessary and kind of bogus. That was media driven. I thought it was ridiculous the type of backlash that LeBron, Howard, even when Kobe in like 05 was gonna get traded, and then the Shaq fallout. So like, I think. I think they need to stop, but the media, some media outlets just completely dominate this fuel of hatred. So I really think Melo should just do whatever he wants to do and not be criticized for it. I don't know what's a good place for Melo. Like, in your opinion, what's a good fit for Melo this summer?
Well, it has to be a team that doesn't already have two dominant scoring options. So, and I don't think he wouldn't go to a team that's rebuilding. He wouldn't go to like a Charlotte. You know, I could actually see him in Cleveland. In Cleveland, him and Kyrie Irving, and he could keep Bynum work that triangle off. Get Mike Brown to use that triangle offense. You know that'd be perfect, Cameron.
Okay, what if I got a good one? This just popped in my head. You think Carmelo would be good in Chicago? And put Luol Deng as a sixth man?
No, I'd actually put. No, I don't think Luol's. Remember, Luol's contract's up too. So Luol might might leave. I think Luau would be perfect for the Lakers, honestly.
Yeah, that actually would be a pretty good fit.
Because, say Carmelo does go to the Knicks. Go to the Bulls. Luau goes to the Lakers. We got a defensive stopper finally. We haven't had one since. Kobe's a defensive stopper naturally,
Yeah.
but this is a little off topic. I was watching the Rockets Nuggets game, and I think it was the Rockets commentators were saying that they think the league should definitely talk about Hackett Dwight and how it's not good for the league.
Oh.
What do you think about it? Do you think it's? We know it's not good for the league. We know it slows down play, gets the game boring. But what do you think about Hackett Dwight, Hackett DeAndre, even Hackett Kenneth Fareed?
I think I'm not. To me, I think Dwight Howard and all these players who struggle at the foul line, I think they can combat all these things without being a great free throw shooter. Like when Shaq, this would happen to Shaq all the time, but he would be creative and find ways to avoid, hack a Shaq. So I think it's a good thing because as much as I like Dwight Howard and DeAndre, I think it's a good thing because it makes it makes the game more interesting. Teams that shouldn't be in the game are now in the game because of the strategy. So, like zone defense. Steve Smith on NBA TV says, I hate zone defense, I hate zone defense. But the Dallas Mavericks, if there is no zone defense, they don't beat the Miami Heat. So it creates a competitive balance, and I think that's something that we need in the NBA.
Yeah, it's like an alternative way of making a comeback.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily have to have a 15-4 run. You can just foul Dwight Howard 3 times. He goes one for 6. You hit some buckets on the other end. There you go. It's a 5-point game.
Yeah.
So you think it's good for the NBA that they should keep allowing Hackett Dwight?
Well, it's not It's not like they are taking cheap shots at Howard. It's not like whenever they do these fouls that they're going right for his head or they're tackling him or doing crazy things. So, like with Shaq, they would just hug him at the 3-point line. So it's really not that bad. If it starts getting malicious and they're taking cheap shots at these players, then they got to take it away.
But no one's done that to this point. So, I definitely agree with you. If someone starts taking cheap shots, they definitely got to bring that to the NBA officials and just probably talk about it.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you already talk about the J.R. Smith?
No, well, we didn't really talk about the actual story, but...
What do you want to... I know you're fired up about J.R. Smith and Matt Barnes and all this. Just Twitter sphere is just getting blown up by NBA players.
NBA dominates Twitter, but...
Yeah, $25,000 for J.R. Smith and Matt Barnes. Do you think the fine was too hefty, not hefty enough? What do you think about these fines NBA is dropping on these guys for putting bad things on Twitter?
I think they're fair. 25,000 because I think that, first of all, they gotta react and be respectful everywhere they go. It's not like, just because they're on Twitter they can say whatever they want. No, it's not like that. You gotta still be respectful. There are fans of the NBA. The NBA wants to avoid the bad boy image that they had back in the day. So they're going to make sure they come down hard, and I think that's fair. They need to keep the image of the league well, and I think it's fair to do that to players. I think the fines are fair.
Yeah, I agree with you. Okay, let's move over to the West Coast. Kobe Bryant returning to practice. All Lakers fans are rejoicing right now, but cannot get too happy because it said if this was in a playoff situation, he'd be ready. He said that a while ago, but he's not exactly there yet. Like, you wouldn't say, he's going to be back next game. I think I say give him 2 weeks.
First of all, I want him back for fantasy purposes because I'm kind of selfish and I need him for fantasy. But, yeah, I think you give him 2 weeks because he said that he needs to get in shape too. I think he knows the offense. He knows the strategies. I'm not worried about that. I think he knows the speed of the game well. I mean, I'd say 2 weeks. I'd say 2 weeks, and I think you're right about that with the Lakers. Kobe, they need some help defensively, and I think he'll really help them. I mean, everybody's been talking about the offense. I think the offense is fine. I just think that their defense has been an issue.
As a Laker fan, I think the offense is not enough scoring. We have our only consistent scorer is Pau Gasol because Nash is Nash. He's been injured every other day for the last 2 years.
Yeah, but the defense is the biggest issue. They can't get back on in transition.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. Their defense is very bad. Now, a team that's getting better defensively and offensively, the New Orleans Pelicans. They are gaining traction, Cameron. I say this right now, mark my words. I see a 10-game winning streak in the future of the Pelicans.
Yeah, I do too.
They started off, 0-4? Now, look at them. They're 4-6. That's not that good, but, Ryan Anderson came back, knocked out some shots for them. Anthony Davis is playing great. Tyreek Evans, 15 points off the bench in their round against the 76ers. Now, they have a lot of scoring options. I think they might have too many scoring options, in my opinion. You always say you can never have too much, but I think they might.
Yeah.
Because when Ryan Anderson, he's a good jolt off the bench. You know what I think? I think they should trade Ryan Anderson for Omer Asik, and then, because he doesn't require the ball, and then put Anthony Davis at the power forward and Asik at the center. Move Jason Smith off the bench with Tyreek.
That's really interesting. I think, know
that's
what?
One of the best defensive insides, yeah.
That would actually be very good for Houston.
Mm-hmm.
That would be really good for... Hey, if I'm Houston, you gotta listen to that trade. They should listen to you. But I think that you're right. I think they have a little bit too many... They have too much offensively. I think they're finally starting to understand each other and trying to get the chemistry going. I think that they struggled with just the simple things. Where does Anthony Davis want the basketball? Or just those type of things. I saw this amazing highlight with Tyreek coming off the screen, giving a little hesitation dribble, spinning to the bucket. Tyreek is coming back to his old self. Anthony Davis running the floor. He's one of the best runners, big man runners in the NBA. I think the Pelicans are looking great. Again, 4-6, definitely not where you want to start, but Pelicans looking good. I just can't wait for that game in March. Ankle Breakers versus Lob City at Staples Center. The game I'm gonna be going to. I can't wait for that, but.
You're going to go to that game?
I'm going to Pelicans Clippers, Ankle Breakers versus Lob City. It's going to be great. I love that. about the Pelicans. But we'll see. We'll see how well they do. I think I do see a long winning streak for them.
Do you see them making the playoffs?
I think in March. Tight. In March, I'll tell you because I don't know.
Tight in the West.
I know.
It's like Dallas and Minnesota look like they're gonna make the playoffs, but teams like Dallas, teams like New Orleans, maybe even teams like Portland, they're second in the West right now. I don't know. They're probably not gonna be able to keep it up, but they're gonna be fighting for the 8th spot if everyone's healthy. So many teams are gonna try to make the playoffs, but there's so few spots.
I don't think Dallas will make it. I just don't. I don't think Dallas will make it, but I think Portland shocked me. I think they're a great team, but I think at the end of the day, this is no order. I'm just going to say which teams I think will make the playoffs at the end of the year. San Antonio, Portland, Clippers, Golden State, Oklahoma City, Houston, Minnesota, and the Pelicans. I think that will be the entire playoff picture for the West.
Yeah, yeah.
I think you just take Dallas out and you put New Orleans.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, I think because think about New Orleans. If someone gets injured, they don't have a lack of scoring. They can get because like all five. They had 7 guys in double figures yesterday, so it's not like they have a lack of scoring. Scoring is definitely not their issue. Speaking of a team that can score, Brooklyn. We know they have a bunch of talent. We know they have 5 All-Stars in their starting lineup, but they lost. Brooklyn is sitting at 3-6. A team that has $101 million payroll. Something crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with them.
I think they're too old. Are they too old? Because I think they'll make the playoffs. I think, during the season, they're just going to have crazy games. I mean, that's what I see. This is just a sign of age.
Yeah, they had 4 starters out. Paul Pierce was out. Darren Williams was out. Brooke Lopez was out. Kevin Garnett was out. So Joe Johnson was a lone starter. I'm sure he loved it because he got to go ISO every other play, probably. I'm sure he was in heaven yesterday against the Clippers.
Oh. Yeah, I mean... Same with Andre Blatch as a gunner, too.
He's a gunner. Whenever he gets in, he's looking for that 20-footer every time. Off the dribble, 15 to 20-footer. Or he's looking for that fast break where he brings it up all the whole way and throws it away at the last second. So you think the Nets, do you see them, at the fourth, maybe 5th spot in the East?
I don't yeah. I mean, you're right, though. I think it should be a little concerning. I'm looking at their schedule right here on the Brooklyn Nets website. You got against Portland Monday. I mean, you got Charlotte Wednesday. I mean, okay. But then you got Minnesota on Friday.
Oh, that's going to be interesting.
Detroit on Sunday. And then Tuesday you got Toronto. So, I mean, they got to get out of this rut pretty quick. So, I don't know about Brooklyn and what they're going to do, how far they're going to go, but is there anything you want to say about the NBA? I don't know if you've seen Inside Stuff with NBA TV. Have you seen Inside Stuff?
Oh, yeah, that TV show, the new show?
Yeah, Grant Hill and his corny lines, but it's kind of a corny show, but it's pretty good.
What is it about? Was this about highlights?
No, it's basically like behind the scenes of the NBA. Like they were showing, I think yesterday I saw a little bit of this. It was Stephen Curry, training in the off season, and then it was Kyrie Irving little interview.
You know what show I liked? They had it last year on the Brooklyn Nets.
Oh, Association?
Yeah, I love that.
Oh,
one.
Yeah.
They didn't bring it back, I don't think.
I think maybe it's because they should do the Association Cavaliers and go into the players only meeting. And no. The Association Boston Celtics again. I don't know why Gerald Wallace keeps complaining. Like, do you think he makes excuses, or is he trying to be the leader and trying to be the macho guy? I don't know. What?
I think he's macho.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think he's trying to be the veteran. Gosh, I remember yesterday when they played Minnesota, I didn't play Avery Bradley in my fantasy, and the day I didn't play, he had 27 points.
He's starting to become a gunner too. I'm shocked, yeah.
There's so many gunners in the league. Less gunners. Can we get some more guys who are all-around players? I want guys who are jacking up 15 to 16 shots or making 4 or 5 of them. Can we get some guys who are actually efficient from the field?
I think it's because, early in the season, they have fresh legs, so they want to take advantage of this gunner opportunity. So, I don't know what they're going to do. over there over there in Boston or wherever. Everywhere.
Every team's got a gunner.
Um.
Oh wait, no, that's not true.
Yeah. Miami doesn't. Well, Mario Chalmers kind of is, but
Beasley is kind of.
Bosch is starting to become one. Have you seen? He takes shots away from LeBron.
Oh gosh, Bosch.
What about? Should we talk about Lamar Odom real quick before we head out?
Oh, I just wanted to bring up the Lamb team. You didn't think they'd make the playoffs? Did you think they'd make the playoffs?
Wait, who? Sorry, it got cut off.
Atlanta.
I remember when on Open Court, your favorite show, Charles Barkley said Atlanta's gonna be the worst team in the league.
Oh, Charles is the dumbest stuff.
I know.
Sorry, Charles, but
okay, but I mean, no, he doesn't say the dumbest. I mean, he says controversial things sometimes, but Atlanta's kind of been surprising. I mean, with Teague, Millsap, Korver is just hot, like flaming. Yeah, I think it will wear off. I mean, you got Carroll and Horford. I mean, they got to stay 100% healthy if they're going to make a playoff run. I don't see that in their future.
They beat the Knicks. No, they beat the Knicks in New York
by 20.
Yesterday, they beat them by 20.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think, they're doing good things. I'm proud of them. I hope they do well, but it's just a little too early for them. I think they've got some issues going into the offseason that they need to find out. If they really want to be a championship team, they got to make some big moves. They always say, "Oh, we're gonna make big moves," but those moves don't really help them. Like the Josh Smith thing didn't help them. The Joe Johnson thing didn't help them. They don't really get big time players. Atlanta's just so Phillips Center is so I mean, it's just
everything about them is just average.
Yeah, it's so mediocre. I mean, they you know what? Atlanta needs to just come to the realization we're gonna be one of the worst teams ever, or we're gonna be a championship team. Stop being average. It's getting annoying right now.
Yeah. So I just wanted to mention some of the hottest teams in the league. Chicago has won 4 in a row. Do you think Derrick Rose was out of his mind yesterday? He had 6 threes against Indiana. How do you think Chicago's gonna keep it up? You think they're gonna, fizzle off a little bit?
They'll keep it up. I think they're a good team. I think they're finally, Rose is starting to get his legs underneath him. So I think they'll be good. I don't know about you. I think you really like the Bulls in the East. You would agree, right?
I'm not a big fan of the Bulls.
No, I mean you think they're gonna do well.
Oh yeah, I think they'll finish. No, I think they'll finish number 3. But the West, a team everyone writes off, the San Antonio Spurs have won 7 in a row.
Yeah.
Like people, all they talk about is the Clippers, the Warriors, the Thunder.
Because we know they're gonna do well, right?
That's true. But I don't think that means you gotta stop talking about them. It's like
that's true. That's true.
Like they've won 7. They're 9-1 right now. They've tied for the best record in the league. They're so good. Like they're just coasting along. No one's talking about them. Just beating teams by 20.
But they don't draw attention to themselves too.
Yeah, they don't. They don't have controversy. They're not tweeting. They're not throwing N-bombs out there.
Yeah.
To the Twitter world like Matt Barnes.
Yeah, and they're not like Houston right now with the Omer thing. Like they don't have those controversies. So I think that's the reason why people don't really talk about them. I see the Spurs again. I just want to know, will there ever be a time where they lose? Like, will there ever be a year where they don't make the playoffs?
I don't know. They just have...
It just feels like it never will end.
I feel like when Duncan and Ginobili leave...
Well, when will that be?
When Popovich leave. Because Duncan, I think this may be Duncan's last season.
You think?
maybe one more after this, but I think him and Ginobili are going to leave at the same time. We're just going to leave Parker by himself because Pop said it. When Duncan's leaving, he's packing his bags too. So I think there'll be a year where they don't make the playoffs. I think it's coming soon. The Lakers aren't going to make the playoffs this year.
Yeah.
I don't think they will. They might. It's the jury's out on them.
Well, if they make a big move at the trade deadline, I don't know if they will, but
Phoenix is starting to cool off. Your Phoenix Suns, led by Eric Bledsoe, Goran Dragic. Even one of the Plumlee brothers is getting his shots in there. Oh gosh.
no more Alex Len. I mean, they lost a tough one against Brooklyn. Joe Johnson throwing up that lucky floater. Come on, Joe.
He raced down the court and he had a layup. That was just bad. How do you let him race all the way down the court with a layup?
That's true. That was pretty bad.
Bad defense.
I know.
Do you think Len was a bad pick for Phoenix?
I think it's too early to tell. Too early to tell, in my opinion.
But he's not even getting playing time.
No, I mean he is a little bit. I've seen him play around.
He's getting 7 minutes a game. Because the Morris twins, they're gunners too. PJ Tucker's a gunner.
Yeah. Oh my God. PJ Tucker he doesn't play any. I mean, no. He's crazy. Okay. I mean, and he's not crazy as a person. He's just the way he plays. I just don't know. He's gonna get a flagrant foul sometime during the season. It's gotta happen at some point.
Oh, he's gonna get more than one flagrant foul. He's gonna get probably 10.
Oh my God, PJ Tucker. Would you just trade him and just release him at the deadline?
No, I think he's somewhat valuable.
Yeah, he is.
He can hit some shots. So we know Phoenix is cooling off. The Clippers are heating up too. Clippers have won 4 in a row. They're now 7-3, tied for 3rd in the West. Do you think? What do you think? The Clippers. Do you think they found their identity yet? I mean, Blake Griffin's hot right now. Chris Paul still throwing 10, 11 assists a game. You think they found? You think Doc Rivers has helped them find where they want to be yet, or no?
No. I mean, I think they need more time. I think it's still going to take more time. I don't see it happening right now. What do you see?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think they have the right formula to maybe even go far, maybe even make it to the NBA Finals. I don't know if they will. I don't know if they'll be able, because they've gotten better at executing at the end of games. Except when they played the Timberwolves. Timberwolves just stormed back on them.
Yeah.
It was that Kevin Love tip-in that he missed. But I think they have what it takes to win. I definitely do. They're led by probably one of the best point guards in the league. Up and coming power forward in Griffin. Good defender in DeAndre, and they have shooters in Dudley and Redick. And then Crawford off the bench is also huge. But I don't know if they'll be able to execute at times. I feel like they kind of take a break at sometimes during the game. But I think they'll be fine. Golden State's another team who's just been on fire. They won 3 in a row, and they had the big shot against OKC.
Yeah.
Iguodala.
I see those teams again. I see the Warriors. I mean, Charles Barkley and Shaq. What do you guys? Okay. Charles Barkley says Golden State doesn't have an inside man presence, but they got David Lee and Bogut. I mean, what else can you ask for in the West?
Yeah, that's.
I don't know what's going on with Charles and Shaq lately on TNT, but that's a whole other time for a discussion. Is there anything you want to say? I mean, I got some little D-League news.
Oh my gosh!
Anthony Bennett is not going to go to the D-League.
Yeah, he's playing. He's a bad pick. That's all I'm going to say.
You really think? Is it? I think it's too early.
I mean, I would have said if they were going to pick a small forward, I would have picked Otto Porter, but he played terrible in the summer league. So, I don't know. It would have been a good number one pick.
Yeah.
Nerlens Noel, most people thought, but
He's out for the year.
Now, everyone dodged a bullet. I'm telling who dodged a bullet? The Cavs dodged a bullet. The Bobcats, the Wizards, the Magic, they all dodged a bullet by not picking Nerlens Noel. He's going to be out the whole year. So, I'm not glad they didn't pick him, but I think it was right that they didn't pick him because see, Cody Zeller's playing all right, but for a guy to be out the whole year and to be number one pick, I don't know. I'm just glad that teams like Cleveland didn't ruin their chances by picking Nerlens Noel.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's really, and in this upcoming draft, some of these teams, I'm shocked by their picks. Like, how can you keep making the same mistake? Seriously, what are you looking for? What are you looking for as a team? Do you want to be a run and gun team, half court team? What offense?
You have to have an identity.
Some of these teams, they just pick the best available player, but that doesn't fit their system. So,
like the Kings.
Exactly. I mean, well, we can't disrespect the Kings on here, but
I mean, like, their best pick was DeMarcus, and they've been in the lottery the last like 6 years, and DeMarcus was a good pick. Thomas Harvison that was a huge question mark. No one knows why they picked him. Ben McLemore, the jury's out on him. No one knows. He hasn't been able to find a rhythm, if he even has a rhythm.
Oh, that's mean.
No, I don't. I watched a lot of Summer League. I watched a lot of Ben McLemore, and he was so up and down. He'd have games where he wasn't scoring. He didn't throw one assist during the Summer League.
Yeah, I mean, the scoring thing, I'm not a big guy who looks out on points, so I think you have to have the complete package. I don't see that with Macklemore as well.
Yeah, he was padding his stats so much in the Summer League. He was, because he knew people would look back at that, and he was trying to pad his stats. And, Kings, their team, the Kings, I mean, we know they blew out Brooklyn, which is, no one knows how that happened. Their team that they haven't found their identity. We know DeMarcus Cousins is a top 5 center in the league with Dwight, Marcus Gasol, Hibbert, along with those guys. He's a top 5 center in my opinion. Maybe he may be an all-star, but I just don't think they have anyone else who can help him. Marcus Thornton, one of the biggest gunners in the league. Every time it's a fast break, he's pulling up from 3.
Yeah.
And Grievous Vasquez, he can be good if he gets the right shots. He can be good. Isaiah Thomas, he can be a gunner at times.
Certainly.
They have a lot of guys who don't fit in the system that Mike Malone is trying to apply to the Sacramento Kings.
Exactly. Let's head out of here. I just want to say this really quick, NFL fans. The Ravens and Bears, they are temporarily suspending the game in the first quarter because of tornado warnings, lightning. Yes, tornado.
Oh my gosh.
Issues in Chicago. So the game will be suspended, and the report. Okay, so NFL media Stacey Dales says that the game will resume no earlier than 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is 12:30 p.m. Pacific Time. The game right now, it's 10-0 Ravens with 4:51 to go in the first. So that game, some are even saying that the game might finish Monday night because they may not be able to resume because these tornado issues in Chicago and the weather is really bad in Chicago. So the game might be Monday, but they're trying to see if they could resume it at 12:30 p.m. Pacific, 3:30 Eastern. Do you think they're gonna finish this Monday night, or do you think they're gonna play it today?
I hope they finish it. They do it today.
Yeah.
I mean that's a good game. Baltimore's a team. If they can win this, they can get a win today. And Cincinnati lost, which is probably isn't gonna happen. Cincinnati's up 28-13. They may make the playoffs. I doubt it, but it could happen. I know this isn't in the paint show. I just want to ask you a couple NFL predictions. Who's your pick? San Francisco or New Orleans?
Oh, I'm gonna go. If this was on the road, I'd say San Fran, but I'm gonna go with New Orleans.
Yeah, it's in New Orleans. Okay, biggest game of the night. Kansas City and Denver at Mile High.
I'm going with KC. Everybody needs to stop hating on the Broncos.
Cameron, come on. It's Sports Authority Field. How are you going to go against the home team? You're going against Peyton Manning.
Let me just say this. If God forbid Peyton Manning falls on his neck, the season's over. No, I'm being honest. And tonight, that could be a possibility. Come on, look. They've got Dontari Poe and Ollie. Their pass rush is great. So, Peyton Manning, make sure you got a good night of sleep because those pass rushers are amazing in Kansas City.
Yeah, I was, Friday morning, I was watching a little preview for Numbers Never Lie. And they were having some very, revealing numbers about Kansas City. They had the easiest schedule. I think they're in for a reality check today. I think they're in for that. It's not all easy. It's not all. You're not always going to play Jacksonville and the lowly Raiders. I think,
True.
and they were saying Alex Smith, he's averaging 6 yards per attempt. I just don't see them. How do you see them beating the Broncos? Broncos have such a deadly, just so deadly deep. Not deep, but they were saying is make Peyton Manning throw the ball deep because his arm isn't as good as it used to be. And they were saying, I was listening to Mike in the morning actually, and they were saying the ball takes a little longer to get to the receiver if he throws it deep. So they said try to make him throw it deep, and they said that's the only way Kansas City could probably win the game.
I think media members are going to be in for a big reality check because they love Peyton Manning, and they're going to find out that there are other good teams in the league, too. I mean, come on, NBC. You have 4 Sunday night games for the Broncos this year. I mean, they should just call it the Broncos Network. I mean, ESPN should be called the Broncos Network for how many times they promote the Denver Broncos. They're talked about every 2 seconds. And the Chiefs are actually the team with the better record. So, look, I'm not talking smack, but I actually am. So, but
no one knew how good they would be. Everyone knew the Broncos were going to be good coming in. That's like saying,
well, then if nobody knew,
TNT. Lakers are always on TNT. It's because they're the Lakers, and
yeah, but that's not fair. That's not fair for a team like Minnesota. Okay, Minnesota's playing better than the Lakers. Why don't they? If you want to put the best quality out there, it's always about the big name teams. It's always been like that. It's
because this was done before. This
yeah, that's true. That's true.
I mean, if they scheduled like a week and a half before where the game, what channel would be? I mean, definitely probably Minnesota. But yeah, that's another thing they're gonna have to. Because I agree with you. Quality teams are getting overlooked. Like Minnesota, they're getting overlooked.
I love how you just went from football to basketball really quick, but
yeah, it was quick transition, fans. But yeah, they gotta figure out how to get all the teams some nationally televised games.
Yeah, that's something they need to fix.
Maybe they should do what NFL does. You know how it goes: Sunday night the biggest game, Monday night's an okay game, Thursday night's between two ant teams. Even though that doesn't give them much ratings, I think the NBA might do that. Like make Thursday night that premier game.
They do. They have the premier games on Thursday.
But their Friday games on ESPN, those are always big.
Not really.
Well, they're like between good teams.
Yeah, the Wednesday night games are bad on
Yeah,
ESPN.
I don't know what's going on with ABC and Sunday games.
We need to check that. I'm gonna
Yeah,
ABC.
I'm gonna check that because I loved watching Sunday morning games.
Yeah, I miss those. Like, yeah. Oh, it's actually here. Oh, there's. Oh my
What?
God, they're starting in. Wait, let me go to
On
ABC.
Christmas, right? Yeah, they're starting on Christmas.
Yeah, so they're starting on Christmas, and then, so they only have. Wait, I don't get. Okay, ABC. It says they have December, January, February. They only have. Wait, let me give you the link. Let me show you this. I thought they had more Sunday games last year.
Yeah, they had a Sunday game like what, every other Sunday?
Yeah, and now they've just stopped. I don't know why. They would get so many great ratings.
Oh yeah, they have them like once or twice a month.
Yeah. That's weird.
Yeah, that is weird. Lakers are on there about 4 times.
Well, because they have studios in LA.
Oh yeah, Miami's on there a bunch. New York, Chicago.
ESPN loves Miami.
Oh, oh my gosh, yeah. They love...
And
ESPN,
LA.
They love Miami, they love New York, and they love Chicago. Those games are always on, because they have studios there.
Yeah. And most of their reporters are from those areas, so...
They need to get a Minnesota studio.
Oh, yeah.
Get a studio in Minnesota.
You know what would be so funny? Have Minnesota get to the finals versus Indiana.
Oh my gosh.
And they have to broadcast the games. Let's see. I want to see Stephen A. Smith. I bet you Stephen A. Smith doesn't even know who Kevin Love is. That's a wrap for In the Paint with Cameron and Jordan. I'm Cameron Sadeghi. He's Jordan Hunter. Oh, Stallions football again. They won 28-27. First round CIF football playoffs. They're facing Huntington Beach this Friday. Really big game. They're the underdogs, but we'll see if they'll pull that one out. Stallions basketball always looking good. The next Kevin Durant, Vincent McFadden. He's 6'6". He can play. He's getting scouted, so he's a really good player. We'll see how he does this season. There's some preseason tournaments going on right now for Stallions basketball. We're doing pretty good. So, that's all I have. Anything?
Shout out to the Jesuit Marauder soccer team. They lost to Granite Bay. They were number 2 in the nation, but they lost in the San Joaquin section championship. So, and then shout out to Marauder football. We beat Merced by 8. And we played Tracy on Friday. So, yeah.
All right. In the Paint. Thanks for bearing with us. We'll see you later. Bye.